So if you were living under a rock, um, you should understand that what happened recently was fucking nuts. So I believe that Emiru found an opportunity to segue off from the current attention that she is getting right now in order to levy allegations of SA against Mizkif and abuse allegations. So for people who are calling that slimy, I just want to say that this is actually a real tactic among streamers that is not bad inherently. For example, I believe that for the Adriana Lee allegations, also levied at Mizkif, what happened was that uh, XQC and Trainwrecks bided their time, waited for the right opportunity in order to levy the allegations in a tweet, right? Directly like do the allegations in a tweet in order to make sure the most eyes are on it. It's a real strategy and it's fine. The reason why it's fine is because let's just say you try to levy these allegations in a context where not enough eyes are on you. Then it would get buried in the mud. Then it would get buried and no one will care. You generally want things blowing up and addressed when there's the most eyes on it if you want to bring attention to an issue, okay? Which is perfectly fine, okay? With that being said, if you're doing it dishonestly in any way, stuff like clout goblin behavior could occur as well. But yeah, it starts on 25 on the Emiru VOD. The Mizkif stuff is wild, actually. She's got receipts too. It's not superficial stuff. Sure, I'll take a look, don't worry. Okay? But I just want to say because I also saw a comment in my own server that said that, oh yeah, if there's no evidence, then why should I support it? I understand the hesitation and the apprehension that comes with that because I have reviewed so many allegations where it is just completely fabricated or exaggerated or gaslighted. Because I would even argue that 90% of the allegations that I have gone through are illegitimate and there's not enough evidence or the accuser is straight up lying. Okay. With that being said, I believe that the larger the figure that comes out, the more credible the allegation is, just simply because they are hinging their credibility on it, right? And you could lose potential goodwill, especially if you're looked in the eyes by the larger community as a good person or have a more positive reputation. So, like for example, if a random e-girl comes up with allegations against a streamer, I will actually unironically take that less seriously than Emiru coming out with allegations. The reason for this isn't because of, oh, they have whatever. Yeah, exactly. Spooby is right. They have more to lose. Exactly. So because they have more to lose and they're putting more stuff online, that is, you are less likely to make sure that you're not being gaslit or, you're gaslighting yourself or anything like that. Yeah. Another thing is, there's another thing to risk here. Emiru right now has a lot of goodwill from the world right now when it comes to the essay at TwitchCon. Okay, so right now there is a lot of sympathy that's levied at her. If she is the one making false accusations and it is widely criticized in any way, then that original goodwill instantly burns up. That goodwill that you can still go on writing for the rest of the duration of whatever, that will burn up instantly. You are wasting that goodwill, right? Because that goodwill, that popularity spike that you get from being at the very top, Emiru is like right here, right? It's kind of slowly dying down just a little tiny bit, right? Because this is the peak, it's dying down a little tiny bit. However, you could ride this wave out to gain mainstay concurrent viewers. You can ride this wave out because this is free publicity, okay? By having like this line, this very, very steady declining line over time, right? And then you can gain more main core audience members. The thing is that if you make another allegation this soon after the peak, you risk losing this entire chunk, okay? So she actually has a lot to lose based off of making allegations like this, even if there is hearsay, even if there is text messages that there's no videos, there's no photos, there's no whatever. Yeah. Yeah, just so you know, okay? Because that's kind of the way that I look at things. Because most of the time when I'm reviewing allegations, do you know what I'm looking at? I'm typically looking at shit that is by total nobodies. Like the most nobody of the most nobody people, right? Like it's just complete and utter nobodies. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what these people are. Okay. It's yeah. I don't yeah. Obviously they have everything to gain, even from negative publicity, but Emiru doesn't, right? Okay. So with that being said, it's time for it's time for absolute cinema. Okay. All right, let's go. Good luck. Did you believe Amaranth's husband or Amaranth with their allegations? I never reviewed them in the first place. Because during that time, I was beginning my Steven arc, and I just simply did not have any opportunity or time, I think. When was that? Do you remember when it was? Because the thing is that like, I just don't, yeah, I never gave a take on it, I guess. Is it because there's a network error, just mainly because of the amount of people watching this? Is that is that why? Oh boy. I don't remember. It felt like ages. Okay. Also, just so you know, the reason why the stuff is a little bit more believable is also because there is a history of other weird behavior. Emerald put it on her channel. Watch Asmongold's reaction. And I think I'm good with the Asmongold reaction. I want to react to it first. But I'm playing it blind, okay? I'm going full blind. Full blind! Okay. Lord, thank you so much for $10. I've never watched Mizkif, but I play one on TV. Oh. I don't know what that means, but thanks. What's going on? Death. Been a while since I could catch a stream. Barbed Wire Barracuda. Dude, it sucks how YouTube is doing the fucking, like, oh yeah, you can't go by the names anymore, the nicknames. So I don't even know who is who anymore. It's fucking stupid. Oh, okay. So Emru posted a YouTube video. Okay. Guys, please like the stream. Also, I just want to say another thing, okay, real quick. Another thing is that apparently, again, for people who don't know, Mizkif has had, this isn't the first time either, people have levied allegations at Mizkif relating to sexual stuff, right? So there is a history there, which makes this, like, even before watching this, this makes it instantly more credible, right? Does that make sense? Like, you don't need to begin even watching this to kind of paint a picture in your head on how credible it might be, right? Like, if that makes sense. But I haven't reacted to this yet. Again, this is my first time reacting. Completely blind, okay? Other than rumors here and there and hearsay, but yeah.
So, I mean, you guys can probably tell, but today's not gonna be a normal stream. Not gonna, watch videos or play games or anything today. I kind of just have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm probably just gonna go offline after.
So she sounds stressed. And by the way, like when Tectone tries to do this like false stressed voice or false like kind of when Tecton is acting, it sounds really fake because it's actually kind of hard to like say it in a very disheveled voice, right? But you can notice that her voice is shaking. It's like full of anxiety, right? This is like a voice. This is like it's an anxiety kind of voice, right? Yeah. Which unless someone is like really good at acting, it's kind of hard to replicate that anxiety voice. Like unless you're some kind of like fucking you took some acting classes or some shit, like professionally. Okay, if that makes sense, because it's kind of like you have adrenaline, so you have adrenaline running through your body and cortisol running through your bloodstream because it's like it's the stress, right? When you're like stressfully trying to recant something, and even the memories of it bring stress, there is a specific voice that comes out that is very hard to act. Okay, but professionals can do it, but not everyone else. Her voice is always kind of shaky. uh I'm not entirely sure, okay? But like to me at the very least, this is what it sounds like. Isn't that literally her natural voice though? I don't even know if any like streamers on Twitch ever does a natural voice. I don't know because I think they just voice train themselves. Like these people probably do more voice training than trans people, like to be honest. like these people train their voice to like sound more effeminate or more masculine, is just like whatever. And that just becomes the new voice, right? Instead. I don't know.
But yeah, it's I mean, I like you guys know, I've been streaming for 10 years. Last week was kind of the first time that I ever really like
Voice is very shaky normally. Okay, maybe so. If that's true, then sure, maybe. But I'm not saying this as a way to bolster her allegations or anything like that. I'm saying this only because like that's what I notice in other people. All right.
spoke about a topic
Mizkif is live. Okay, we'll cover that after.
or like something that happened to me. And honestly, I'm really glad that I did, and I'm proud that I did. And I feel like I have to see it to its conclusion, if that makes sense. Not just for myself, but for, in a way, I kind of feel like a lot of people are involved because it doesn't just affect me. So that's why.
She has a higher
sorry about my
pitch.
voice. I'm very nervous in case you can't tell. But I knew that this stream had to be done today. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I guess might as well get started. Not stall too much or anything. I know there's a lot of people here who don't normally watch, and if you're wondering, yes, I do normally run 20-minute intros. And yes, my community at least claims that they like
20-minute intros. That's nothing. She did train her voice to be more deep because she had a higher pitch voice she got bullied for. Okay. Why now though? What? It's obvious because she's riding the attention high that she's had from the Twitch thing. So she's like, okay, we might as well like cover all the fucking stressful stuff that's been bothering me this entire time. Of course. And there's nothing wrong with that. More eyes are on you, so you're gonna leverage that to your advantage.
it. I think that they like it. I like playing songs for you guys, but anyway, yeah, anyway. We don't like it? Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, I'm probably gonna stop reading chat now as well, but you guys are free to say whatever you want, obviously. So, yeah, like I said before, it's been a pretty crazy week, and a lot of things have happened since the last time that I streamed in relation to what I talked about last week, the whole...
Wait, real quick, can somebody download Mizkif's VOD just in case he deletes it? Because he's streaming right now, right? So he's responding to the allegations. If that's true, can someone like download that shit for me? You guys would be so kind if that happened, okay? Thank you.
TwitchCon incident. Some other things happened that kind of pushed me to talk about a lot of things that I want to talk about today. So as you can see, I wrote out my notes, and not only that, I have even more notes. So yeah, if it seems like I'm like reading a script or something, it's because I wrote super detailed notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think everyone knows about last week, the stuff that happened at TwitchCon. I was assaulted, and the guy was able to leave the venue, basically. Okay, so like intro first thing that I want to talk about is I did see the Twitch tweet that I believe went out yesterday. I was literally in a Discord call with my friends and they were like, "Did you see that Twitch apologized to you?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is they put out that tweet. I was never reached like apologized to privately. They put that out without like consulting me or anything. I didn't know that they were gonna do that, so that was yeah. I mean, I'm glad that, you know, they're trying to like take some level of accountability, but there's a lot of things that they didn't mention in the tweet that I feel like should have been mentioned. But anyway, more stuff's been happening behind the scenes.
So she's reporting it now because she's getting more views? Yeah. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. But Techno and Asman has been hinting about this for weeks, maybe. Oh, weren't they? Yeah, weren't they kind of fucking like? Yeah, that makes it more credible too. Fuck
So
me.
I want to
Oh
say
my god.
that last week,
Because
everything I
a
said
paper trail,
on my
right?
stream was accurate, obviously, except for one thing. I was wrong about one thing. I was going over the tweet that Twitch initially put out, where they're like, "Oh yeah, this thing happened to a high-profile creator. You know, police were on site. We're cooperating with law enforcement investigations." What I was wrong about was they were not cooperating with law enforcement investigations. I found that out on Monday when I got a phone call from the San Diego police, and they were talking to me, and they basically said, "Hey, we can't really do anything right now because they apparently know the name of the guy, but they're not giving it to us until a warrant goes through." Which, if you know anything about that stuff, it usually takes a while. Even you know, if it's
Why is it a good thing though, Food? Can you argue that as a negative? No, because the thing is that like technically anything can be done for attention, okay? Like anything can be done to satisfy that inner vanity part of yourself that is satisfied when attention is being like carried at you, but that doesn't make the allegations any more false or not false, right? Like whether or not, like if you're faking the allegations for attention, that's really bad. But if you're not faking it, right, and it's actually a real allegation, and let's just say that it's been made credible and it's like believed and shit like that, and that inner part of yourself is still tickled by that vanity feeling, there's nothing wrong with feeling justified in going over the allegations or feeling validated by the larger audience if your allegations are credible. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, for example, a woman with very public rape cases, right? Let's just say that finally the rapist got convicted and sent to prison. And then finally, that stuff blew up all over the news. Shouldn't the victim feel good about that? Like, yeah, it's attention, absolutely. It's validation, absolutely. But really, is the attention, is the positive validation they're getting really that bad? When the rapist gets sent to prison, like, yeah, there you go.
expedited, which it was being expedited for me, but it still takes a lot of time. And they're like, yeah, they're refusing to give us the name, which as far as I'm aware is like a very common company thing where they'll be, you know, they don't want to give out names of potential people involved in crimes because then like that person could maybe like sue them for giving their name to police. I don't know, something like that. That's what my lawyer said. But basically they were Twitch was trying to make sure that the guy that assaulted me didn't sue them, which meant that the police were not able to work on the case right away. So yeah, I got a call about that on, I believe it was Monday, from the San Diego police. They were like, yeah, we're working on the warrant, but like right now that's like all we can really do, but like we're trying our best, just like want to let you know, we're gonna keep in the loop and everything. I was like, okay. I was very frustrated because I was like, damn, like I didn't know that on Saturday. I would have said that if I knew. And then I believe it was the next day, there was someone who, I don't know if they were a viewer or if they were just someone who like,
yeah, I'll put another reason. I'll put another reason why this is it's relevant for her to bring it up now as well. Is because Mizkif actually made a recent video before this talking about like a recent stream saying like, oh yeah, by the way, and this is why the Adriana Lee allegations were false, and this is why I'm innocent about it. Well, the thing is that from what I remember at the very least, that's a lie. That's a lie. From what I remember, yeah, even though the lawsuit got dismissed because it was off of defamation charges, but not off of rape or sexual assault charges or anything like that, I just want to say that like the original thing was absolutely like very credible against Mizkif, from what I remember. For the Adriana Lee thing, I actually know about that one in detail. Like, I actually know about that one in detail, and I can tell you that Mizkif did not look good in any respect whatsoever in that one. Just mainly because that one leaked for our call with Mizkif and Trainwrecks and XQC and Asmongold and the rest of OTK and stuff like that. Holy shit. Mizkif came off unhinged. Okay. Basically, he said that the reason why he tried to cover it up is because he would do anything for his best friend. That's it. That's his justification. So he doesn't deny it happening. Like, he doesn't deny that he covered it up. Like, he fully admits to covering it up. But it's just that, like, the reason why he did it, he just thought it was a justified reason. He thought the justified reason was, oh yeah, wouldn't you do anything for your best friend? That is psychotic. What the fuck? You're covering up a SA. Yeah.
Knew of the situation from social media. They contacted my manager, and they basically told her that at their place of work, someone came into their work
100%.
who matched the description of the guy, and this person was saying like, "Oh, I'm, traveling to Texas." And I caused like quite a stir at a TwitchCon, and this person like reached out to my manager, reached out to police. San Diego police interviewed them. But basically, what I'm trying to say is because all this stuff was delayed, this guy was able to get really far away from San Diego, allegedly. And this whole time, my manager was like, basically like begging Twitch, like, dude, like, please give us his name. Like, we don't know who this person is. Like, for all we know, he like lives around where Emmy and her roommates live. Like,
oh yeah, that era was like the peak of Destiny drama coverage. Okay, when Destiny was like on the daily covering drama and shit, and was just like generally considered to be like one of the most credible sources when it came to drama. Yeah, like Destiny, like what Chill Logic is doing now is what Destiny did back then, essentially. Was just covering numerous allegations, numerous rape reviews, numerous like documents and stuff like that. I think the original rape review meme actually came from Destiny. He has a really old playlist from many years ago when Twitch had its own Me Too, when one of its first Me Too movements, and Destiny essentially covered like 12 fucking Me Too shit in a row, and he was considered like the most like credible like judger for the fucking thing. Yeah, which is yeah. But that was peak. That was actually peak. Okay. Did she date him after he covered up the rape? Um, did Emiru date Mizkif after Mizkif covered up the sexual assault of Adriana Lee, you mean? I believe so. But I don't think these two incidences are related. I don't think these are related. I don't know.
I can't like help her if like I don't know who this person is and they were refusing to do it. But after
The only relation being that I mean, you could just perceive it as like Mizkif being a piece of shit, right? Like that's the only relation. But
that tip from the person who said that the guy came into their workplace and was talking to him, my manager demanded the info from Twitch, so they did end up giving it to police, but not my manager, as far as I know. She still doesn't. Yeah.
But I just want to say, please be careful, because the thing is that with like mass cancelings like this, you kind of have to keep in mind that people will lump in a lot of other fucking things, because there will always be opportunists. There will always be people who are trying to get their slice of the meat. Okay, I think that you should absolutely go against these people. I think you should go against the opportunists who are trying to get their slice of the meat. Because the thing is that these opportunists, what they do is that even if the original allegation is credible, if the original like rape allegation or sexual assault allegation is credible, what the opportunists do is that they dilute the original message of the original allegations, right? They dilute, they mess up or they dilute the original allegation. So like that part is also important to like try to keep in mind, you know? But yeah, if that makes sense. Okay.
So, the investigation's still going on, but it's like been a huge mess because of all of the delays and like refusal to work with the police. And yeah, it's ongoing. I can't like say too much about it. Like all this that I'm saying, obviously I like ran by my lawyer and stuff. And I don't want you guys
Covering up a rape, it's covering up a sexual assault, technically, legally speaking, okay? It was a groping when Adriana Lee was passed out on the couch drunk. Mizkif's roommate groped her. It wasn't penetration, because typically when it comes to rape, people say it's, like, people think of penetration, but I think instead you should think of, yeah, it was a groping, so, which is legally sexual assault, not rape, but yeah. Who, don't dodge the question. Is Miz a predator? A pattern of behavior in which you go after women on purpose to manipulate people. No, I wouldn't say so. Not yet, but this could convince me otherwise. Who knows?
to know that Melissa has been making sure that,
because if there's like multiple victims coming out, then yeah, he's a predator, sure.
you know, me and my roommates, who are obviously
Allegedly,
other
sorry.
pretty well-known girl streamers, that we have been safe here, paying for like security stuff, making sure we're protected. Again, my manager's been taking care of that all of her own. Twitch did not offer anything like that.
Also, if you're rude to me again and you say I'm dodging the question again, I'm kicking you right out of chat, okay? Not only do you not belong in my community, but I'm also kicking you out of my chat. So you'll just be exiled forever, okay? Because the thing is that, like, I'm sorry, okay? I am not you are not entitled to me answering your questions, okay? You're not entitled in any way for me, the streamer, to answer your stupid fucking questions, okay? I'm sorry. All right? If I don't answer it, then that's just how it is. Ask
and,
later.
yeah, that's where it is right now, pretty much. I can't say like too much about what, you know, me and my lawyer are doing, but my hope is really that there's some kind of like public resolutions that people who like have seen this and like know about everything that's happened can feel better about it. Because like I said, I don't feel like it's just about me. Like it could have been anyone that it happened to, like a small streamer who's not as lucky to have the resources or like, you know, the reach that I have. So it's very scary and yeah, just very, very frustrating. And yeah, I don't know where that's gonna go. I'm sure that, you know, they're probably, I would speculate, not very happy with me for talking about all this, but I feel like it's not fair to keep it hidden from all the people who literally had to witness it because of Twitter and Reddit and all these things. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, obviously. You guys know I was super grateful that the guy posted it, got, you know, spread around so that I didn't have to figure out how to talk about it myself. But yeah, I'm just it's a lot. It's been really heavy this week, but obviously I've been getting a lot of support from my friends and other streamers, and obviously my manager, the people that I work with, my employees and such. But yeah, I don't want to just let this be a thing that I think that they're hoping it just blows over and gets like swept under the rug. I'm not gonna, you know, go live every stream and complain about it, like, oh, you know, I got done dirty. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna try to the best of my ability, keep you guys updated until there's like some kind of resolution, you know, so. Yeah, pretty heavy, intense stuff. Yeah, it's been, sorry, I'm just looping myself now. But yeah, I would hate if like this kind of just went away and people were like, oh, what happened? You know, I don't know. You know, am I gonna go to TwitchCon next year and, you know, like if something happens to me, it's gonna, you know, they're gonna try to hide it.
Is an Entertain fan? No way.
Yeah. So there's that. Give me a second. I have some more stuff I want to talk about, but I'm trying to not rush myself because I'm trying my best to, like, you know, stay composed to the best of my ability.
Oh, yeah, there's another benefit. I think someone already said it in chat. There's another benefit to her coming up with additional allegations right after the Twitch shit. It's so then Twitch doesn't ban her to avoid legal ramifications. So the thing is that Twitch is a very fucking slimy company, and they'll literally ban victims. Like they're the kind of company who would literally ban victims of something if it means protecting their bottom line in order to prevent themselves getting sued or something like that. So the thing is that like by making something like this, she also protects herself from getting banned on Twitch, and potentially as a protection, like that. But yeah.
So that I can get to the information across accurately.
Because apparently there's like hearsay of like Twitch trying to protect their bottom line first by like rallying the lawyers in order to prevent any kind of accountability to the website. Even though that's the most business decision to do, it's just obviously a very oh, I'm gonna protect the company over the person who got SA'd at TwitchCon. Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for, support and stuff. Like honestly, it's been shocking to me because, I don't know. I guess like whenever things happen, I always just kind of expect the bare minimum outcome of that.
Now remember, fuck everyone else's opinion, okay? Fuck everyone else's takes on this, okay? I think the way that I evaluate drama is the most fair, the most good, the best fucking analysis, alright? Period. So good luck, okay? Listen, you have no idea how many allegations I've gone over for the past 2 years, okay?
That makes sense. So,
I just want to say, I saved Alex Kister's career, okay? The creator of the Mandela Catalog, okay? The creator of VHS Horror, okay? The father of VHS Horror, Alex Kister. Yeah, I saved his career. No big deal, alright? I have a history of winning cases like that.
Yeah, I've just been very, very thankful. Very thankful and very grateful. And I hope that, whatever comes out of this makes other people feel better. But regardless,
I'll not comment
like
on the 4 black boxes.
I'm done with going to TwitchCon. Probably done entirely with convention streams. I feel like it's just time, And I think that's probably true for a lot of streamers. The climate has, really changed. I've been on Twitch for 10 years, like, I keep fucking repeating myself recently. And yeah, it's changed a lot, gone pretty big. And I think that's just, the reality that you have to accept. But, maybe it's not a bad thing, because, you can go back to rotting playing games in your room. It's not so bad, right? Retirement? No. Not retirement. Definitely not. Because I'm the kind of person, I'll never give up. You're not gonna make me give up, so.
Come on the 5 lights?
Yeah.
There are 4 lights.
Oh. Fortunately, I'm not done yet. Like I said. But just give me a bit. Was worried you're gonna quit? No. And I don't think I'm gonna go to any other platforms because.
Come on, 4 guys, grabbing my thighs.
First of all, where would I go? And second of all, I really think that, this is something that was just, this is just me, being optimistic, but I feel like it was just a case of like, we didn't realize that these things could happen, and we obviously don't want them to happen, and like, things will be better, and I'm not gonna leave you guys because of, something that someone else did. Yeah, there's like other places that, I upload content, but Twitch is like really my home. That's why, through all of this, I feel like most people,
Well, this is also why, like, I am kind of apprehensive to, the whole idea of, like, YouTube giving me a warning out of nowhere. It's just a warning. It doesn't prevent me from doing anything. But, like, if I get another strike, like, I'm sorry, but I might actually lose it, okay? I might actually lose my fucking mind. Mainly because, like, bro, like, at the end of the day, YouTube is my home, right? Like, YouTube is my home. Yeah. I have the most established foundation on YouTube. and only suboptimal foundations on other platforms.
I didn't make a tweet, but like it was probably like 10% of what I needed to say. A lot of people make a tweet, make a YouTube video. That's why I've chosen to do all of this live and like raw, because it's just what I'm most
Someone just ran up to her and kissed her, right? This is not that big of a deal. No, this is talking about Mizkif.
comfortable with and what I've always
New
done.
allegations.
So, yeah. Oh, sorry, my like emotional voice is so ugly. Yeah.
Playful songs. Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's just crazy. I just never thought things like this would happen, or I'd ever be doing a stream like this. It just feels very strange because it's just very out of my element. I've never really like, for the most part, commented on drama or like self-inserted in situations, but I guess in this situation I'm kind of like stuck in the middle of it against my will. So it's like if I don't do it, he'll
Don't become a streamer. As you can see, this is like very stressful to do. I just want to say that. Yeah, so like this just might be my opinion, but you know, just you know, you can do something else. Okay, it's okay. Like it's okay to, you know, shoo and, you know, do something else with your life and you know, have a good life either way. Okay, go to college, get a job, all right, get a stable career, a family, a girlfriend. Okay, and you can still enjoy life as much as any streamer. Okay,
else is gonna do it.
but money's no. At the end of the day, it's never about money. Okay, you have to understand. I think this is like one of the most important thing you have to understand about streaming. Okay, is that at the end of the day, if you're already a successful streamer, it stops being about money. It starts being about validation and attention, and never growing as a person because you're stuck in that validation seeking mindset forever. You never come to terms with yourself about your self-hatred or your self-loathing or your insecurities because you have a bunch of other people glazing you all the time, right? Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a second. Sorry, I've said that like 4 times, but this is it's a lot. I hate drama streams. Me too, man. Bro, like I could have come home. I could have worked on beating Cinna and Clint's fucking Mega Bonk scores. Now look what I have to do. So fucking annoying. I had to cancel my plans. Which reminds me, I don't think there's gonna be a Halloween stream this year. I don't think that's realistic with kind of the vibes of things right now. But I mean, is anyone gonna be mad at me if I do like, you know, like a Halloween in November thing? Or I mean, there's always next year, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, things happen outside of your control. So, yeah. It's just crazy, but I mean, thank you guys for listening to me talk and complain. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, the next thing, at the end of my last stream, I said that when I got home, I would be talking about some other things that I really, really did not want to talk about. But I feel like those things, developing independently of their own from the TwitchCon incident, have gone to a point where I kind of feel like I have no choice. So, I've already seen a lot of people speculating about what I'm going to be talking about, and some people have been right, but even for the people who were right, they were only like 5 to 10% right. I don't think I've seen a single person online who knew or understood the severity of what I want to talk about today. And I want everyone to be aware that I've been handling this situation very seriously, and I've spent a lot of time thinking this over. And not only that, I've been in contact with a lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today, because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right, because it's so serious. And I feel like it's going to change things forever. And so today I'm finally going to be opening up about and telling everyone. Sorry, I swear I'm not trying to like make this dramatic or something. Like I said, I really wish I were not feeling like I had to do this.
Bro, dude, I swear to God, like, dude, the intro is extremely long. Fuck me, dude. Like, this is a super fucking long intro. But like, but I get it. Okay, anxiety. Okay, it is anxiety. Okay, I understand. I kind of feel the anxiety too. Okay, holy shit, bro, dude, she's so anxious that she's making me feel anxious. What the fuck? For those of you guys who don't know, I have generalized anxiety disorder, and I also have OCD, which is an anxiety disorder. So it's like fucking, dude, she's fucking triggering me. The
Give
fuck?
me some time.
Stop!
Um,
Stop! He's like
I'm gonna be
having an
doing a
anxiety
lot of,
attack
I
live.
guess you could say like fourth wall breaking in a way, and talking about things that I thought would
This
always
sounds much shorter. Okay, someone better
be
have
personal,
downloaded it.
and just, you know, I would just carry them myself. Today I'm finally gonna be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I've attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue, and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done. And I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online.
Absolute
so I'm sure a lot of
cinema.
people are going to be asking, why am I doing this and why now? And I would like to explain that before I get started so that people understand what prompted me to do this today, and that it's not just on a whim or something like that. Okay, so
I'm here for it. Me too.
like I said, I took a lot of notes, so forgive me if I just end up reading off my notes. The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago.
Oh my god, thank god she's not making a Google Doc. Holy shit. Thank god that she's not making a Google Doc and she's just reading off of her fucking TwitLonger. Okay, listen. There is no TwitLonger, okay? There is no TwitLonger. Like, I'm just glad that she's reading it instead. Because holy cow, I cannot stand it. Whenever somebody posts like a fucking 15-page TwitLonger, okay? For posting a Twitter, but for posting like a 15-page document that I have to fucking sift through slowly. Holy fuck, kill me. But thank God. Okay.
About withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger or being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me. And someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything. I think that most issues and dramas should stay private and off the internet. And I still hold that belief to this day, and I will hold that belief going forward. However, there are certain things that cross
your new thumbnail looks far better than the previous one.
the line, and I say that the line has been
I put
crossed too many
feedback.
times to be count. There's a point where I believe that people deserve to know. I think that at a certain point, if you know a lot of things about someone and you don't say anything to look out for others, it's wrong. It's wrong to keep it to yourself. I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused.
Can people corroborate this? Like have streamers come forward to say, yeah, Mizkif told me this. Mizkif offered to join him in a smear campaign in case she comes out with allegations.
At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him.
Oh my god. Well, rabbits live short lives,
I'm sure
right?
he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet.
Good for yeah, of course.
Okay.
Wait,
So
why
now that
wouldn't
I've
I?
explained all the reasons why this took so long and why I made the decision to do this stream, I have a few more things I would like to get out of the way before I start talking about all of this. The way that I'm going to do this today is I'm going to run through everything from the beginning to the end to try to get across the story as accurately and fully as I can. And, hold on. Hold on.
That's
Also,
a pretty background. Thank you.
we're going to be showing a few screenshots validating what I'm saying. I have more things, but this is what I felt comfortable using today. And I will be running through those later.
Okay, evidence.
Another thing that I'd like to mention before I start is that during my statement, I'm going to be mentioning directly the names of about half a dozen other creators who were present for certain things.
Oh no.
And I want to say that none of these people did anything wrong. I'm just saying that they were there, and I've asked all of them permission. They all said that it was fine to include their names, but I know this won't stop everyone, but I ask people.
Mizkif better be lawyering up. Mizkif better have a nuke ready. Dude. Dude, Mizkif better have a nuke ready. Bro, 7 streamers? 7 streamers to corroborate her message? Assuming she's not lying, right? Because this would be very hard to lie about, because it could be easily disproven, right? Because if she names a streamer that she hasn't gotten permission from, that streamer could just come out and say, nah, Emiru haven't gotten any permission from me. Fuck Emiru, right? Oh my god. Bro. Oh my god, you better fucking clutch up, Mizkif. Holy shit.
For the streamers that I mentioned, please don't go bothering them or asking them for
Holy
information.
shit.
If there's something else that they want to say,
They will.
they'll
They
say
will,
it
though.
themselves, so there's no
but-
point to go pester them and bother them about it.
Okay.
There are also streamers who gave me permission to share things that they relayed to me privately, but asked me to redact their names, which I, of course, did.
Okay.
And the last thing that I want to make clear is that not every person that I interact with or that I'm friends with knew the extent of all of these things.
No reason for Emery to lie, by the way. Well, there's always reason to lie. There's always reason to lie. Always. But like it's always pros versus cons, right? It's always like it's a cost benefit analysis always with everything, right? It's just that the likelihood of her lying is less than 50%.
And in fact, most of them didn't. And some of them didn't even know anything at all. I tried to keep things private with my close friends, but if anyone during the past year ever approached me asking questions, I didn't lie and I told them the truth. But yeah, I don't want there to be some kind of witch hunt like, oh, you know, you knew and this, no, a lot of people, you know, didn't know everything or didn't know anything.
You should know that it's only the victim that should come out first, right? This is why President Sunday and Beckett, like, going forward with the Destiny allegations for Pixie is so wrong. And that's why it was, like, widely condemned by pretty much everyone. The reason why it was widely condemned was just simply because it wasn't Pixie that was coming out with the allegations. It was President Sunday and it was Beckett who did it first for clout, right? So this is why, like, it was so wrong. Like, just so you know, when other people come out with other people's allegations, yeah, it's almost 100% always a clout move. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's almost 100% clout move. This is why, like, other streamers couldn't do Emiru's case for her, because it would look just so fucking bad. if you're trying to use her name in order to get more attention for yourself, right? And you can pretend that, oh yeah, I'm doing this for women's rights, but we all know you're not doing it for women's rights or anything, right? But yeah.
Okay. I think that's all that I have to get out of the way to start.
Yeah, by the way, okay, I hope Beckett and Present Sunday burns in hell, okay, for what they have done, okay? They are some of the most shameless, fucking pathetic piece of shit grifters ever, okay? Just because they hate Destiny, they have completely upturned the way that you should deal with allegations. So some of the most like fucking unhinged behavior I have ever fucking seen ever, okay? Absolute pathetic dumb fucks. But anyway, yeah. That's it.
So, this is public information. I initially moved in.
Trader 2?
Sorry.
Aye.
I'm still sick, like I said. Okay. This is all public, obviously this part. I moved in with him, I believe it was the end of 2021, because he offered. I was living alone at the time, and I was having stalker issues in Kansas, and I mean, you guys know like all the stuff that happened there. I ended up joining the org and everything. We did a lot of streams together, and I mean, a lot of people already know this, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022.
Yes, you're seeing me shade. Fuck you. Did you make that upload on the food markets?
I'm not planning.
What was it? It's justice.
To go into too much detail about the start of the relationship because it honestly doesn't really matter at this point. It's irrelevant now. The only things that really matter that.
Hey, thanks for downloading the thing. I downloaded it as well, but if needed, but seems to be public. Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mugu. Maguru. Thank you.
You guys need to know for the story are that it was one.
Someone stalking you must be terrifying. Yeah, I think the laws currently across the United States and various states and stuff like that, they are not caught up to the way that the internet works. Like the way that stalking laws are working right now. Like for example, I believe like Pokimane couldn't do anything about like the stalker, right? That yeah, I don't know. like she can do like a lot of people just cannot do anything. Yeah, it's pretty sad, but
an extremely private relationship. It was even hidden from friends and people in the org, but I mean, obviously, people all eventually figured it out. They're not fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. They work the best.
And second, it was an extremely codependent relationship, which it's not the issue, but let's just, you know, making that clear for details. He initially portrayed himself to me as someone who was very nice to girls and wanted to help me feel safe from stalkers and wanted me to succeed as a teammate. And we grew very close over time, and I was very dependent on him for feelings of safety, social life, like my stream, my job, everything. So yeah, besides it being a very codependent relationship, the start of it was fine. I saw a lot of people mentioning this. They
well, the things that she just described isn't inherently codependent. Like these are things that are normal to seek validation from your partner. But
thought this was what I was going to talk about. It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream. So, when it was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even...
What? Should you ever date your boss? No. Unless you think that you can absolutely do it responsibly, then no. Because I believe that there's very few people in the world who can actually handle dating their boss or not dating their boss or something like that. Because I have seen dynamics work out where it's like someone like a TA or a student dating a professor or something. I have seen that kind of dynamics like before, but these dynamics are not common. And most of the time they end in tragic failure, like complete and utter failure, you know. So good luck.
hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye. But he always, was like, "Oh, it's an accident," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's."
Okay, so physical abuse allegations. Okay, we'll see. Physical abuse allegations. There's a lot of really good historical Miz clips on LSF. We'll take a look later.
It's an accident. Like, of course I'm not gonna think that, he's. Yeah, I just. At the time, I just kind of was, I just brushed it off. And looking back now, I feel like that was kind of the start of him testing my boundaries, if that makes sense. So that was already kind of starting to show signs within the first 6 months of me and him being close. And then, again, a very public situation. The end of 2022, the cover-up allegations happened. I mean, yeah, like I said, all that's public. You can find all that, see like what I said during that, everything. After that happened, his behavior started getting a lot worse, which, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. He was very stressed. A lot of stuff was happening, but the bad behavior was ramping up, and I feel like it's so apparent if you go back and watch anything from that time. I tried so hard to help him and be there for him because I really believed in him, and I wanted him to, get better and get back on his feet and be the person that, I always believed that he was. But that, unfortunately, did not really happen. For a long time, I think about a year and a half from when that all happened, it was kind of like slow things getting worse. But I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna bother going into the details of all of that because there's just too much to cover, and it's honestly kind of not really relevant to the rest of what I'm saying because the rest of what I want to say is a lot worse. There was a point where things really took a turn for the worst. Like, it felt like, like a very delicate branch just kind of snapped. So,
Jesus.
And again, a lot of people are like vaguely aware of this.
Dude, this is like, I'm sorry, this is like the most contagious anxiety ever. Dude, fuck me, dude. Like, this is literally the most contagious anxiety I've ever felt. What the fuck? Dude.
But I'll explain it for people who aren't, chronically tapped into all that stuff. So for a long time after the cover-up allegations happened and he was starting to kind of struggle on his stream, he never wanted to stream at the same time as me. We really avoided it, and to me at the time it made sense because I was like, well, of course, we share a lot of community members. If we're live at separate times, we're both going to perform better. It makes sense. But yeah, we were never really live doing the same thing at the same time for a long time, with the exception of things like events or sponsors or
I want people to keep in mind, okay? Just because Emiru is saying all these things doesn't mean that she's right automatically, okay? Because again, you shouldn't adopt the most common take ever. I think you should adopt a way of thinking when it comes to evaluating these cases to a reasonable degree, okay? What can Mizkif do right now that could save his ass? What can Mizkif do? Well, to be fair, not much, okay? Because the public sentiment has completely turned towards him. But the thing is that what Mizkif can do is that he could come up with evidence that it was also Emiru that was being abusive towards him as well, right? Maybe not physically, but let's just say verbally or otherwise, or trying to be very toxic in a way. Yeah, there could be a variety of things that could come out, or maybe the text paints a different picture. Maybe he produces another set of texts that she has selectively left out. Just keep in mind, remember, it should be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, right? 99% proven, right? It should be like, okay, well, she has so much to lose and so much to like so little to gain and so much to risk that, oh yeah, like these are more like strong, right? If that makes sense. So yeah.
Just special things for a very long time. And a lot of you guys probably noticed that I would only usually stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. That was because of him. And now I stream whenever I want. But the first time that we ever streamed at the same time was for the 2024 Rust Kingdoms event on Twitch. We were sharing drops, so it was the first time in a very long time that we were both going to be live at the same time doing the same thing, basically. I know you're probably like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? But it'll make sense in a bit.
What does she have to lose? Everything.
So I'm live, he's live, we're both streaming, and like I said, you can go find all of this. This is public. There are clips of this. We're both streaming the Rust event, and I thought it was going really well. I thought everyone was having fun. I was like, oh, this is great. Everyone's, doing the same thing at the same time. We're all hanging out. We're gonna have fun.
Are you going through LSF clips? Yes.
Like, I was really, really
But we also need to go through Mizkif's response.
excited. And then I start seeing in my chat people start saying unofficial Miz raid, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I check my Discord messages, and he's messaging me. He's saying like, Emmy, I'm gonna kill myself. I waited, or I'm gonna KMS. I waited so long for this, etc. And
What?
basically he was upset because I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it.
What?
I had higher viewership than him. And like I said, this is during an event, so there were drops. Like, everyone knows when there's drops, like, it's not even fucking real.
Shouldn't you be happy for your girlfriend if, like, your girlfriend was getting more... So he felt emasculated?
But yeah, he starts messaging me. He's really upset. I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, you should come back and play. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's like wondering where you are. But yeah, he ended his stream. And then I'm still live, trying to act like nothing's wrong. And in that house, I had a glass door so I could like see this was happening. He was walking behind me, making sure that I knew he was there. And by the way, so there were many ways out of that house if he wanted to leave the house that were closer to his stream room. He intentionally chose the door that was right by my room. I feel like that's pretty apparent, at least to me. He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up, so even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore.
Wait, hold on. And I'm guessing that this is all in clips and shit like that. Like, all the evidence and shit was like there's a lot of stream evidence, I'm guessing. There has to be. Otherwise this is like easily disproven. There just has to be. Yeah.
It didn't work for months, and it would just make this horrible sound that I would have to hear like every fucking day. But anyway, so I hear him back there doing this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I tell my stream, I'm like, hey, guys, I'll be right back. I get up and I go talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, Emmy, like, I hate all you guys. Like, all you guys do is just take from me, and like, I'm just done. Like, I'm just done. And I was like, is this like really happening because of rush drops? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. He was like going off on me, like basically saying that he hated me. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. And he was like, go finish your stream so that people don't know anything's wrong. And I stop in the bathroom outside my stream room, and I'm like, you know, checking my makeup, trying to make sure people can't tell that I was like crying. And I'm only in there for like 30 seconds, and he comes and like looms in the doorway. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just checking my makeup." So I go back and I stream for a couple hours, finish the stream, do my best to just like, you know, carry on the show basically. And yeah, after that, like I said, was when things started to get really fucking bad. It was like something just snapped. For the rest of the week, he streamed the Rust event. He got all the drop viewers. I'm sure he was very happy. I mean, good for him. And during that time, I obviously was like thinking and processing a lot of what happened. But I mean, it was a lot because this person was at the time like kind of it was like my partner and my best friend and like the only person that like I really talked to ever, or like at least off stream. So I mean, it was a lot. But the very next stream, I went live about a week after that, and I announced that I was planning to move because I knew that I would have to move. So I was like, okay, I have to go live and say this so that, you know, kind of force myself to commit to it, right? Does that make sense? Obviously, I didn't move out right away, but after like all of that Rust stuff happened was when the other domestic abuse stuff really started. He would destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom, the holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me. And at the time, he also would more often do things like going, like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour, and like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us.
What?
And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food, and he was on his phone, and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, "Oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me." And I was like, "Oh, well, you know, like, huh? Yeah, I guess so." Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it. Then
what? Wait, what?
Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, "Oh, well, you know, like, huh? Yeah, I guess so." Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
Wait, what? 150? 150 miles per hour? Whoa. What the fuck?
Then at home, other things would happen. Like I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure. There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better. So basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away. But at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was gonna be punished for it. And it just felt like a very rough situation to be stuck in because, I mean...
Oh, okay, so you were Kaya. And Mizkif was Hassan.
Streaming is my hobby and my job. Like, it's a huge part of my life, even before, you know, I met him and became, like, a larger creator. And I remember thinking all the time how it felt like he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and, like, his thumbnails and everything. And this is still before I moved out. There was a time where it was the tension in the house was so unbearable that I would sneak out and I would sneak into Esfan's house using my code. And Esfan didn't know why I was doing this. He saw me a couple times. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go take a nap in your guest room." He'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine." I would sneak into Esfan's house just to have some time of like peace and quiet.
The thing is that if she was lying, because sorry, my okay, does Mizkif have a way out brain is going off, okay? My devil's advocate, okay? I'm advocating for the devil right now. My devil's advocate brain is going off right now, okay? So she could be lying, but SFan can easily disprove it. Does that make sense? She could be lying, but SFan can easily disprove it. So she is likely not lying, if that makes sense.
But
Who
eventually,
knows?
he
We'll
figured
see.
out where I was going, and he would go over to Esfen's house to keep telling me off.
SFan confirmed this? Okay, yeah, he's cooked. SFan confirmed this? Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
It's a time that he did it, and I was laying in the guest room bed, and one of the roommates in that house had come to see like why I was crying, and they were standing in the corner, and he came in, and he was very physically aggressive. He was like, "Emmy, like what are you doing?" Like angry. And then as soon as he turned
Emmy.
and saw
That's
this other
cute.
person standing there, he instantly like deflated and changed his tone. He was like, "Oh, Emmy, I was wondering where you were. Like, are you coming home?" And that roommate like later asked me about it. They're like, "What the fuck was that? Like, are you okay?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's nothing," because I felt like a lot of the reason that I didn't tell the people around me was because I felt like no one would understand, or even if they understood.
Oh yeah, by the way, if anyone threatens like suicide or anything like that against you, like basically giving you an ultimatum or something, I'm not talking about like this specific case, okay? I'm talking about like in general. If anybody goes like, "Oh, you better do this or I'm gonna Kermit," you know what you should say? You should say, "Then do it. Just do it. What are you waiting for? Just do it." Never let anyone manipulate you like that.
It would just be a burden.
How should we donate if we want you to get it all? You should donate on Kick. Because Kick only keeps 5%.
To them because all of our streams and social circles and communities are so intertwined. I was like, maybe it's just better for me to deal with this and like hope things get better, basically. I honestly don't even remember what the final straw was that I finally was like, okay, it's time to go. Like I prepared.
No, you should call 911 and get cops involved. Okay, yeah, sure. If you know who they are and where they are, then yes. If you don't know, if you do not know their location because it's a fucking need relationship or something like that, what can you do?
The house that I lived in before this one, like pretty much immediately after the like breaking the front door thing happened, but I was still like scared and unsure.
If we're going Mrs. Cat,
so I don't remember what the final straw was, but I remember the day I took Cheddar to the house because he just randomly started like screaming at Cheddar and was like, "Get that fucking cat out of my house." So I just grabbed Cheddar and put him in my car.
Never yell at your food, okay? Stressed food will always taste bad.
And grabbed his litter box and took him there, and I just left him there and never took him back to that house. And then I think like within several days after that was when I finally moved out. It was on very short notice. Like I said, I don't even remember what the final straw was because so many things happened, but there was a time when I just knew. I called some movers. I said, "Hey, can you come tomorrow?" And they were like, "Yeah," and then I literally moved the next day. Moving out into the last house that I lived in was a huge step mentally because, like I said, a big part of why I moved into the first house in Texas in the first place.
I just met you.
Was because I felt like
and this is crazy.
Sorry,
I'm sorry. This is not appropriate.
You know, I am
sorry.
A girl where it's like kind of scary for me to be living alone. So it was very hard. And at the time, even though like all these other things had already happened, I was very hopeful that me and him could be cordial and like eventually like things would be fine, at least publicly, like for stream reasons, that, you know, everyone could just keep streaming like nothing had happened. And, you know, at the time I thought that would be the best thing to do. And I felt like if I, you know,
defend if Foodshops Miz needs you, this is your chance to make an ally. I would rather defend possession. I think I'm good, actually. I think I would rather defend possession. I think I'm good.
Separated myself from him without explaining anything. People that watched us wouldn't understand and would attack me. I was yeah, I mean, it ended up happening anyway. So, but yeah. After I moved out, we, like I said, still kept in contact. I had hope that somehow things would get better. He would always beg for me to come back, and he would promise therapy and change, and like even talk to other people and like kind of present like.
I think Destiny even supports this. I think from what I saw so far, I think even Destiny supports Emiru, actually. From what I've seen from a little bit in DGG chat, but yeah.
Like, oh, I want to change. I want to be better for Emmy.
If you're
or whatever,
wondering,
you know, there was a short period in October where we had broken up because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter now. And when that happened, I honestly felt relieved because I was like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms, so that means he'll be satisfied and he'll be able to say it was his choice, and he'll leave me alone. Because whenever I would try to push for it, it just felt like I couldn't like really sever it, if that makes sense. But I mean, obviously,
what's the situation with her now?
Between the stream, that was not the end of it.
It's just he's donezo.
A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk from closure. He came to my house, and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. He, so yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to...
Huh. Woman. Am I right, guys? Woman. Sorry, my bad.
Comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then, suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And, I screamed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And, instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without, checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like, I just felt this.
Okay, this has to be the biggest allegation. Attempted rape, right? Like on top of alleging that he was an abusive partner, right? Like everything that was leading up to this was like alleging that he's an abusive partner. But like this is the biggest one, right? Attempted rape.
Pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense. I felt like I'd caused trouble for so many other people if I ever said anything bad about him.
Miscommunication.
Or if I caused rifts in our friend group or streamer group. I tried to stay on good terms with him and hold everything in, and also I still cared about him a lot, and I still at that point had hope that things would get better, and that, you know, he would improve. And he'd also always hammer into me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me, and he would coach me and tell me to tell people or other streamers who were asking about it because they were concerned. He would say, tell them that I never hit you. Make sure that they know that I never hit you.
Well, that's disturbing.
Around the same time, this was during OnlyFans 2, so I guess like December-ish. He would often message me in the middle of my streams and berate me for.
The tears turned him on more. He was primed. Yeah, I'm guessing so. Yeah, I really am guessing so. The reason I think like this is because Yeah, people do have a crying anime girl fetish. Okay? Can confirm because I'm a gooner. You're welcome, by the way.
Things like playing the same class as him in WoW because he thought it would make people think that I was better than him. And again, like I said earlier, I felt like I was stuck in a constant loop where I had to perform well to not be thrown away. But if I performed too well, I was going to be punished. And I actually wanted to show some of those messages because obviously a lot of these things, yeah, I'm not gonna fully read these out because I honestly just don't want to read them out, but I feel like I want to show them to like kind of show what I'm saying.
Oh boy. You're telling me crying turns you on from cute woman? I like some stuff. Uh, I don't want bad things to happen to women, but you know.
And I am planning to probably post the VOD of this somewhere, so if you know you want to read this later, that's fine, I guess.
Hate the fifth.
And again, this was all happening while I was live. You can literally go find the stream and see me trying to deal with this while I'm live in the middle of a dungeon, trying to just play the fucking game.
See, now that's the worst crime, okay? In the middle of a dungeon? Not good.
Oh fuck, I think I...
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate, the criticism, the you're worse than Emmys. The Emmy is so much better. The people saying you're better in every chat. The comparisons says nobody will ever be on my side. Let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you not to become a tank. You didn't listen. And now it's the classic, what was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And like I said, you can go find the stream. But for context, I was playing Warrior in World of Warcraft in like a level 24 dungeon. It was like Silverpine. Like it was just like, it wasn't even like, it was like dog shit gameplay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, so, yeah.
Why is chat set to this? I'm sorry. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. My bad. Let me see. Leaderboard. Who can send messages? I'll find some way. Let me see.
Yeah, you can read that later, I suppose. If
Civilization.
Yeah, like I said before. Hold on. I was constantly trying so hard to compromise with him because I wanted to.
I can't do it.
Cool, and I wanted us to be able to coexist in the same streaming
Fuck
sphere.
me.
But I felt like I could never win, and he hated my whole existence. Like ever since that one stream where I had like a little bit more viewers than him, and he would say that it was my fault that his stream was dying because most of his viewers liked me, and whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately. And he said if he would be able to hit on other girls and convince them that it was real, he would get his career back. That was like, started within the last couple of weeks that we spoke to each other.
Oh yeah, guys, please donate. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, please consider donating. It really helps out the stream a lot. I do this for the entertainment of you guys. And it seems like a lot of people are entertained. And yeah, I would really appreciate the support. So, yeah. If you become a member, you can acquire a colored name in my Discord server, discord.gg/Foodshops, by the way. And on Kick, you can give me the largest percentage of the share. So yeah, it's all YouTube foods. You can't change it. Gotcha. Mizkif is so cooked that Pro Pally, who is self-immolated Aaron Bushnell, would say, damn. Yeah, okay, good luck.
He started saying terrible things to me about other streamers in Austin. In particular, one specific streamer who I know there's a lot of people that know he has beef with certain streamers. It was not one of those streamers. It was someone who, to this day, has been nothing but nice to him. He would say horrible things about this person, like about them in their stream, and it was just.
Truly, this is the dankest dungeon.
Misaki, thanks so much for the 5 gifted subs on Kick. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go.
Very hard to listen to.
200 plus views, but 30 likes. True. You should like the stream. What the hell? Freeloaders.
And just in general, he would say horrible things about other streamers in Austin, like, I quote, "I hate everyone here. You are all useless to me. You're worthless to me because it does nothing for my stream anymore to collab with any of you." And him saying that was the final straw for me. The day that he said that to me about other people was the first day that I ever, for the first time, started to ignore his calls and messages. And because of that, he even threatened to come to my house if I didn't answer. But I did end up calling him back, and I spoke to him, and I basically told him that I felt like I could finally see things for what they were. And
Ooh.
he started panicking, and he was super apologetic, and he was saying he didn't want to lose me.
Classic.
Which wasn't the first time that he, like, did something like that and was, like, you know, basically begging me not to leave. But that was definitely the most extreme time. And again, like I said, I always had the hope that things would be cordial, or that, you know, we could be fine with each other, so I agreed, and we agreed we were going to talk about all of that. We talked about
Confirmed he's cook? Bro. Mizkif is gonna have to pull a miracle. He needs to pull a miracle, okay? He literally needs to pull a miracle in order to get out of this, okay? Here's the thing, okay? You know what the truth is? Is that if Mizkif just kept on streaming, this everything is gonna fade away. That's it. Everything's gonna fade away. As long as Mizkif keeps on streaming, this stuff will be left behind. He won't collab with a lot of people anymore. He'll lose all of his sponsors, but as long as he keeps streaming, his core audience will always be there. Absolutely. That's just how it works. Now, with that being said, okay. With that being said, oof.
About it about a week later, and instead of apologizing for anything, he basically told me that he realized he needed to go to Japan and LA to...
Is he big enough to tank this? You can, yeah, I feel like you can't truly cancel someone unless they get deplatformed, but who knows?
Get his viewership back up, and he was basically too young to focus on friendships and relationships. And, it was,
Wait, yeah, is Mizkif even funny or entertaining in the first place? That's a good question.
I mean, despite everything, like I said, I still cared about him, so it was still hard. And I mean, it was like a mix of feelings, you know, like I was devastated, but I was also so relieved. But because of the past incidents during like other fights and times I would try to separate myself from him, past incidents during those times of him manipulating me into staying close with him and giving him more chances, sexually assaulting me, the abuse, and just him generally not being a very...
Smokey Guru, thank you so much for the 1 gifted sub on Kick. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Also, thank you so much to Jeremy Iron 79 for welcoming to Tier 1. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Very nice person. After that, I decided that the only solution and way for me to move forward, I made the hard decision, but I know now for sure the right one, was to finally completely cut contact with him.
Yeah.
I knew it'd be very hard because our careers and our communities were so intertwined, but I knew that I had to do it and that there was no other choice. So I have not spoken to him since January of this year. It's been 10 months. But you think that's the end? It is unfortunately not. I haven't spoken to him since January of this year, It only took a couple of weeks, but
This
soon
is
the messages started.
dankest dungeon.
Ear infection. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Big. Thank you so much. I believe that's your first time donating something like 5 gifted subs. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hopefully there is more to come. Thank you.
He has attempted to contact me over 40 times individually this year in individual texts, Discord messages, Instagram DMs, and phone calls. And I'm just gonna show those. And at first, it starts simple. It'd be confusing messages or like him expressing he was worried about things.
That W wallpaper.
Like at first it wasn't anything weird.
So she's not a lesbian, right? I'm kidding, joking.
This is not someone who loves or cares about you.
Is potentially bi. Potentially bi. Everyone's potentially bi. Holy shit! How many receipts? What the fuck?
And keep in mind, this is only things that he sent to me. I can't document.
Okay. So this is like, dude. Yeah, I know, bro is typing entire thesis. What the fuck? What is this? Yeah, this is just okay. Yeah, I know what this is. Oh my god. For people who have been here before, you know exactly what you're looking at, okay? For people who haven't been here before, consider yourself lucky. You're either single and you'll never have a lover, or you've had lovers and you give up on having lovers, okay? Good luck.
All the things that people told me that he was saying. And it's just kind of a funny side note, I guess.
Yeah, Destiny fumbled. It's
I would
over,
like to
dude.
highlight this message.
He's missing out. You know the meme that like things happen when Destiny is not streaming? Yeah, I think that meme is I think that meme is real.
Because doesn't really matter, but I ran it through the ChatGPT checker and all the highlights. Like I said, doesn't really matter. I just thought it was interesting. But yeah.
Is it food Diddy? What?
Like I said at first, the messages were just simple things, like him saying he was worried about things or saying no one was talking to him, which I don't think was even true at the time. I think he was just saying that to try to
shaken, not stirred.
Mizkif allegedly did SA or something, but most of these e-girls put themselves too close for clout. Maybe take some responsibility though. Yeah, it seems like a complicated situation.
I would say yes most of the time, but no.
guilt me into responding to him. I'm not sure about that, of course. This also extended to in-person interactions, because initially I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through private communication and, you know, we would be fine going to the same events and parties and such. I also had to start... Hold on, I'm still fucking sick.
Thanks for $10 though.
made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal, private communication. But I also had to start avoiding going to the same parties or places I was worried he'd be in.
Foodshops, I can't get excited for famous people relationship stuff without police reports. Well, the thing is that like, I can see scenarios where charging police reports is not enough. Like, if you pass a bunch of these like fucking texts to a cop or something like that, I don't know. Like this isn't enough to push charges. But what you can do is you can damage their reputation. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you don't need to push charges in every single situation, only when the situation sounds like you can actually push charges for, right? Does that... I don't know if that makes sense. But...
person.
Yeah.
Because, this was after he came back from his...
Like, for example, if you say, oh yeah, I've been raped in an alley, and, turns out the rapist was a streamer, right? But I've been fucking viciously raped in the alley, then yeah, you should make a police report. If you haven't filed a police report, then I'm gonna suspect something's up, right? I'm gonna suspect something's up if you haven't filed a police report after being viciously raped. But something like an abusive relationship, or something as like, oh yeah, it stretches out for long periods of time, there's plausible deniability all around. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what can you even charge the person with?
First trip to Japan. There was a party that I attended several months after I first went into contact with him. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it'd be fine. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I thought I'll just let him have his space. I'll have my space. You know, it's not a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that I was just being paranoid. I was like, it's probably just in your head. I was hanging out with Nick and Catchy and a couple other friends. And, at some point, Nick was like, it's too fucking loud.
It was like yapping without charges. Like, I distrust the accuser. Cause abusive relationships are usually a two-way street, not always, but 51 majority. Okay, the reason why this one is so different, because you're engaging in good faith. I'll answer your statement in good faith, okay? The reason why this one is more credible is just simply because Emiru is leveraging it alongside a lot of other streamers' names being put on the line, right? It's not just her name that's being put on the line, and any kind of beneficial reputational like shit that she can gain from the Twitch shit, but in addition to SFan and any other streamers that are going to be listed, okay? So, and not only that, like all this stuff apparently can be corroborated in clips. If that's true, if it's true that, you know, all of this stuff can be corroborated in clips and it lines up with the history and it lines up with everything, I think that I don't like this kind of stuff is like hard to push, in my opinion, in police charges. It just is, okay? And a lot of times it's a waste of time. The reason why it is just simply because usually when people bring forward like allegations of physical assault or anything like that to people, unless there's like actual unless there's physical or recorded evidence, I think that these charges just simply get dismissed the vast majority of the time, okay? With that being said, the most damaging thing to a streamer isn't going to prison. It's losing your career or having such damage being dealt to your career as to implore you to never come back or to cause all of your connections to be severed. So, does that make sense?
Down here, let's go upstairs. No one's upstairs.
Also, another thing is that typically what happens is that you have an e-girl who is coming out with an allegation that is massive against a content creator that is especially exaggerated or vicious to the point where you expect something like a police report to come out, right? And usually the e-girl is like, not saying that it discredits her allegations, but the e-girl could have a very, very low clout compared to the content creator, so she has a lot to gain, while that content creator has a lot to lose. But the thing is that for Emiru here, it's kind of like reversed. Because if it's true that Emiru is more popular than Mizkif, then essentially she is risking a lot and putting a lot on the line by going against Mizkif. Yeah. Not only that, Emiru says that she has consulted a lawyer before the stream in order to make sure that everything that she says is like okay legally. What I'm guessing is that if she is able to press charges, like criminal charges, I'm guessing that her lawyer said no, unless stated otherwise. Unless in the future, Emiru reveals that she has pressed charges, right? Because chances are the lawyer would let her know whether or not she has a case to make. If a case is not possible, if a case is unlikely, then the lawyer would let her know as a part of the legal advice and tell her, no, you shouldn't press it, or you should press it because you could win.
Let's just go, chill in a room and like talk where it's not so loud.
Does that make sense?
And I was like, okay. So they, as a group, went upstairs.
And if you doubt that Emiru has a lawyer, keep in mind that Emiru does pay for a lot of fucking shit. Like for example, she pays like $10,000. I've heard for security, right? So she pays $10,000 plus for security. Her track record seems to be relatively clean, from what I can see. There's no like a history of false allegations for clout. There's no history of lying all that much that I've seen at the very least, but maybe you can dig up something. But the thing is that her credibility is also pretty pretty clean. So there's like multiple stacking reasons if you look at the greater context to like justify this allegation, or specifically at the very least. Foodshops, oh shit, so there's more people in the scene who can validate what happened? Yes, that's correct. I can understand why this blows up then. I hope to see this further validation so Miz can be properly judged. Thanks for the answer. Yeah, no problem, okay? Thanks for asking in good faith, okay? But yeah, I appreciate that. Eban. Shout out to Eban.
First without me, but it took me a bit longer to get up there because someone like stopped me and was talking to me. And I did feel like, he was like standing pretty close to that person. I felt like he was watching me, but again, I thought I was just being paranoid. But I went upstairs, I was hanging out with Nick and Kachi and, our other friends. And then about 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens. It's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes, ooh, and then closes the door and leaves. And I was like,
what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Dude,
but again,
what the fuck?
I was still trying my best to, give the benefit
fuck?
of the doubt. Like, maybe it's just like
okay,
an awkward situation or something. But a couple months later,
maybe
the person that he was hanging out with that night reached out to me privately and was apologizing. And I was like, why? And they're like, I just felt like I had to apologize to you because I felt so bad and so embarrassed of what was going on. Like, yes, he wanted to see what you were doing. He was saying, like, I want to go see what's upstairs, and he was checking every room. And then after he opened the room that you were in with Nick, he closed the door and started laughing. And then he just wanted to talk about, how you guys broke up for the next, like, however many hours of the night. So I was like, wow, okay, that's good to know, I guess. The next story, that I want to tell involves what happened to me, Valkyrie, and Cinna earlier this year when we were attacked at the Santa Monica Pier, because that was obviously. Hold on, let me close all these fucking texts. I don't want to look at them. They're still on my desktop.
Yeah, apparently like some random dudes just begin harassing them or some shit, right? Yeah, but
where was I? Yeah, so yeah, it happened March 3rd of this year. A lot of people were talking about how me, Ray, and Cinna were attacked. Which was not an issue. Like, we had no issue with that. Like, obviously, it's big news. People are gonna talk about it. It should be talked about. We had, like, no issues with anyone talking about it and covering it, and that included him. I was fine with that.
Okay, Mizkif?
He joined in on that whole thing of people going live to talk about it. And again, I'd like to remind people at this point, we were already a couple months into me being no contact with him, making it clear I didn't want anything to do with him. And so during this stream, he was covering what happened to me, Ray, and Cinna. He decided that he was going to tell more of my personal stalker stories that I've never personally talked about or shared publicly myself. And one of these stories was one that, like, no one knew at all, and, like, It's just, it just felt so shitty because at the time that those things happened, like, you know, all the people that lived in that area together, we all came together and we all kind of decided, and this was heavily pushed by him, we should never talk about this because, you know, people are gonna be weird. It puts Emmy in more danger, and, you know, it gives people ideas, so we're never gonna talk about it. But, you know, of course, as soon as there's some big drama that he's not involved in, and he finds a way to, you know, bring up, oh, I was there for something that happened to Emmy, he does it.
So I'm guessing that he did this for clout, right? Because again, everything that she's saying here should all be on stream, right? Does that make sense? Like, if she was lying about all of these events, you could easily disprove her by simply finding the original stream clip and then just going, oh, this is where she lied. This isn't what actually happened. Oh, she's leaving out context, right? So just notice that everything that she's saying can easily be disproven if they're false, which makes me believe in the original allegation, right? Does that make sense? How I'm evaluating this? Yeah.
He was on a stream talking about these personal stories of mine, and I caught wind of it. And by the way, it was also so frustrating not saying anything at this time because the way he told those stories.
I think clout seems more like an attempt to exhibit control to affect someone. Well, yeah, but then keep in mind that she said that he's also very clout-minded. So it, like, I think it's probably both. Yeah.
He kind of framed himself as like the hero. He was like, oh, I held the stalker at gunpoint. No. The only person who ever came into contact face-to-face with that stalker before the police came was Bonnie. Bonnie is the person who found that guy outside, went inside, told everyone, called the police. The police came. All Miz did was he stood far away from the front door, behind glass and metal, with a gun. Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's still very scary, but why are you acting like if anyone deserves credit for that, it's Bonnie. Like, it's literally stolen valor. I'm so glad I finally get to say that because she is the one who, like, kept everyone in those two houses safe, not him.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the original thing, the Ray and Senna stuff. So, I was obviously panicking. Like, I just had this horrible thing happen to me the night before. It was like huge, like public, millions of people seeing it. And then my crazy ex-boyfriend is going live talking about more of my personal stuff. And I'm like crying, and Senna and Ray are like, what's wrong? And I tell them, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so. Like, these different people that I was like, they can contact him because I did not want to contact him. So, Ray, Senna, some of me and Miz's mutual business partners, and Asmongold were all messaging him to stop. And by the way, Asmongold told me that he tried to call Miz while he was talking, and it rang 3 times and then hung up, which means
So keep in mind, she's bringing up more names now. Okay.
that he saw it, and he
Remember what that implies.
just wanted to be able to keep talking because, yeah, anyway. Just a little note. I don't know exactly what, like, the other people said to him, but Ray and Senna told me that they were messaging him being like, bro, like, stop, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And he was messaging them, who were also equally as traumatized as me, of course. They had gone through the same thing. Oh, what am I doing wrong? I'm letting people know what, you know, girls go through. Was that your job? Well, anyway, yeah, that all happened a couple of months into having no contact with him.
This shit is pretty crazy.
And yeah, he was arguing with Ray and Senna while they're trying to be
It's
like,
just a
"Oh,
lot
like,
to take
stop,
in,
like, you're
okay?
making it worse." He finished talking about my stuff and then reacted to Senna and Ray's whole stream where they were crying, addressing their communities, made sure to react to that, and then immediately went offline. So yeah, that was a terrible weekend. I got threatened to be stabbed, and then the next day, my weird ex was going live trying to self-insert so that he could make sure to farm his own clips.
Just so you know, if a bunch of random women join in on an allegation or something, it could entirely be true that a lot of women could come together to corroborate or collaborate on something that's false or something, right? But the thing is that who she is naming are all really fucking big names. Like, these are the biggest names on the planet, right? When you bring in the biggest names, if it's a false allegation, a big name would just be like, I'm backing off of this. I'm not going to hinge my credibility on a false allegation. I'm not going to do it. But the fact that she got permission from all these big streamers, would mean that like they are willing to hinge their big name allegation, big name credibility on this specific allegation for Emiru. So essentially, they're trying to lend Emiru additional credibility, right? If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Whenever these names are mentioned, if it's true that she got permission from them, and again, this can easily be disproven, right? Yeah. Mizkif is cooked like a fucking hot stove.
After that incident, his attempts to talk to me only ramped up, which I showed those texts. He went back to Japan, and during that trip, he was texting and calling me, trying to call me quite a lot, begging me to take him back. And at the same time, I heard that he was reaching out to quite a few other streamers who know both of us. And he was crying to them about how he wanted to get back together and how he thought someday we...
By the way, I have reviewed the allegations before where I have declared the allegation to be false. Just mainly because there was a bunch of complete fucking randos like supporting the allegation, and it seems to be like a dogpiling attempt by a bunch of like 20-year-olds who are like not mature and a bunch of fucking dumbasses. So like essentially what they were fucking doing was that like they thought that they were actually doing something important by coming out with allegations, but meanwhile I haven't even heard of these people. I'm talking about Alex Kister, by the way. Yeah, when I was the first one to pump out a video on the Alex Kister allegations. I got ahead of the game and I set the narrative that essentially saved his career. But yeah,
would reconnect and eventually get married. I think
lend credibility over and against the streamer who's already burnt out. True, dude. Huge risk in the limb. No, it's not about. No, oh my god. It's not about like allegations as in like, oh yeah, Mizkif is already canceled, so if you like throw lies at him, it won't damage you specifically. That's not true. If you leverage false allegations against someone, even if their career has already been destroyed and they're discredited and they're mass hated, that still damages you. That's what happens. And not only that, you're like, by having a false allegation against someone whose career is already canceled, they can crawl back up from Tartarus, okay? They can crawl back up from the depths to revive their career off of your destroyed credibility. Like, so you're wrong! You're a moron!
I don't think he even meant that, but I hope not. But I assume he did that with the hope that they would relay the messages back to me since I wasn't talking to him. And, I mean, some of them did. I also had a couple other streamers report to me that he would obsessively watch my stream and not in a like, oh, I wonder what Emmy's doing right now way, or like having my stream open. Like, he would be obsessively and attentively hate watching my stream, like watching my stream and just saying horrible things almost every time that I've been live this year. And they tell me that he would want to discuss how he believed I still wanted him. Interesting, considering I never replied. And he would ask other guys if they thought I had slept with anyone this year.
Yeah, you know who's a great example for someone who can leverage like lowered reputation in order to against a larger content creator, in order to to punish a larger content creator from leveraging false allegations. I'll wait. Okay, but no, I won't wait. Actually, it's fucking Destiny. Okay, against Hassan. Okay, do you know how many false allegations like Hassan has leveraged against Destiny? A fuck ton. Okay.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Another super chat to fund your luxurious instant ramen lifestyle, steaming bowl money with wings.
Yo, Adam Refund, thank you so much for $5. I appreciate that. But yeah, just so you know, like, again, like, that's a really good example. A-locking your ex, yeah, that's unhinged. Another super chat, yeah, okay. Pixie? No, that doesn't apply, because Pixie is not a larger content creator against Destiny.
They'd be like, I don't fucking know, man. And then
That's not relevant.
They told me he would say stuff like, no.
What are your thoughts on all of this? I think that Mizkif has allowed a lot of ground to cover, okay? You know, but you know, I believe in Mizkif.
no way she's done that. She's not like that. And she's probably waiting for me. Just really fucking gross stuff like that. And a couple of streamers in LA also told me that he was telling people that me and him still talk all the time, but we simply weren't together anymore because I was too mature and I was not ready. I was too immature. But yeah, you can see from the messages I showed. I'm not sure if people can go back and read them.
He respond, I know that.
Begging me to take him back for the majority of this year, which was 7 or 8 months total. And like I said, some of the messages were even, I believe, ChatGPT. Not that it really matters, it's just interesting, right? As of today, it's been about 2 months since he has attempted to contact me directly. I think because about 2 months ago was when he started kind of getting scared that I might have been telling people things. Which again, I wasn't going on my way to do it, but if anyone ever asked me, I wasn't gonna lie to them. I mentioned this at the beginning before I started fully telling the story. I heard from my friends, other streamers, and my employees that he had cooked up a plot that if I ever tried to talk about him,
I was reading game text.
About the abuse or anything else, he would try to go live and say that I killed my rabbits. And I was told that he approached several streamers who were around us a lot when we lived together and asked if they would basically back him up, and they refused. Obviously, they're not
about insane. The rabbit killing thing?
And
what the fuck?
Even something happened this weekend at TwitchCon. One of my employees told me he went up to them and he threatened them, saying, "If Emmy ever tries to talk about me, I will destroy her." Whatever that means.
Giga Chad.
And within the same night, he also texted one of my best friends. And he would have known that I would have been with this girl. He texted her saying, "Hey, worried about her. Hope she's okay." Right after he just said to my employee and other people that he was gonna try to destroy my life. Yeah, all in the same night. And, yeah, that was Saturday. So that pretty much leads us to today. I feel like it's clear I've spent the last year of my life cutting him off and building a new life with people that actually care about me and doing my best to move on peacefully without causing any drama. I did not want to do this. A lot of other creators actually told me that after his other allegations in 2022, if I wasn't the first person to stand up for him and start appearing on his channel again, they...
How the fuck do you fumble Emiru? Can somebody please tell me? How the fuck do you fumble Emiru? Bro, you're gonna regret this for the rest of your life. What you're thinking in prison, or maybe in the future, or anything like 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, dude, I just how do you fumble multiple LA-10s? Okay, how is that even possible? How the fuck do you fumble multiple LA-10s? You are so cringe. What the fuck? How do you fumble that, dude? You don't even get your life together for Emiru? You don't even get your life together? What the fuck? How do you... You're not even gonna go to therapy for the baddest hoe ever on the face of the planet? Damn, dude. I'm sorry. My fucking inner lesbian is crying for mercy right now. My inner lonely lesbian, okay, is crying for mercy. How are you gonna fumble such a bad hoe, okay? How the fuck do you gonna fumble such a bad bitch? What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? Dude. Sorry. How do you do it? Okay.
Do not think that they would have gone back to helping him with his content.
Who has a crush on Emmy? Dude, she's objectively hot and pretty. What the fuck? Yeah, of course. Huh? Does that even need to be said? Okay, alright.
So I always tried to keep things private, always tried to make things better. had hope that things would get better, you know, tried to be supportive, and my thanks that I got for all of that was abuse and resentment. And for all of 2025, all of this
No,
year,
she's not a bad bitch.
harassment and hate.
But like my subjective definition of hot is not the same as others. I'm sorry. Just very gay, okay? Okay, all right. Good luck.
Hatred from him and his community, while he was the whole time secretly begging for me to take him back behind the scenes. I've taken a lot of steps already, as I said, it's apparent. I've taken a lot of steps to restructure my life and be a lot more careful about who I help and who I invest my time and my care into. And I'm doing a lot better now, but
Dude, actual generational fumble.
I felt like this was a necessary stream because, like I said at the very beginning, I have heard that he has done things to other people that aligned with some of my own experiences, so I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information.
I teach Destiny to brush his hair. He's in his mid-30s. If he still doesn't know how to brush his hair, I have bad news for him.
I know I stayed for way too long, and I thought that I could help, and I unfortunately learned that I couldn't, but I worked really hard to have the life that I have now with my friends, my family, my pets, and my community.
Late 30s.
And I'm so grateful for how things are now. It was very difficult, but I'm very proud of myself for making the choices that I did to end up where I am now. And yeah, that's my story of dealing with abuse, psychological and domestic abuse, sexual assault, and stalking, and being threatened on if, you know, I ever talked about it. And this whole time, it's been kind of hidden in plain sight away from hundreds of thousands of people. And, yeah, I know that me saying all of this probably isn't gonna make him or what's left of his community leave me alone, but sorry, voice crack. I know talking about this probably won't make him or, probably won't make him or what remains of his community leave me alone, but, I'm at least glad that people will be aware of all of this now and I won't have to feel like I'm hiding a terrible dark secret anymore. And, it's all out there now. And I also want to make it clear that, not everyone that I interact with or that I'm
I think the anticipation is more anxiety inducing than the actual release. Yeah, like if you're telling yourself constantly that you are building up to the stream where you reveal this all, like that is more anxiety inducing than the actual stream when you do it, right? Because the actual stream when you do it is like, oh yeah, the exam is over, I can finally relax, right?
friends with knew the extent of the things that were happening, and a lot of streamers didn't really know anything at all. But I mean, like I said before, people aren't stupid. I think it's pretty clear that a lot of people knew that things were happening, and like I said, you have to remember, it's not just me. A lot of people have told me that they have their own, you know, grievances with him. But for the people who did know about this, thank you for being there for me through all of this and supporting me and cheering me on. And there were a lot of people as well who, even though they didn't know anything, without asking any questions, they still were very kind and supportive, and I will always remember that for the rest of my life. I also want to say, just so people know, that I'm not just trying to like put this out there and then, you know, I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California. And I also wanted to say that I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for this stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit. It'd be interesting if that happened, and I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today, and what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And, yeah, there's more things that I didn't even talk about today, but I'm hoping that now that I have this out, this is the last time I ever have to talk about it. And I can be like, okay, I got it out there. I'm not withholding this anymore. It's out there. And, yeah. I guess that's, pretty much it. Definitely not how I would have liked to spend my Saturday. I would have loved to
Well, that's okay. Days of the week doesn't even apply to a streamer, okay? Days of the week don't even apply to a streamer.
go to karaoke with my friends or something like that instead. A lot of people like karaoke, right, guys? Yeah. I think that's it. I'm probably gonna take some time off. I'm not sure. Like, I genuinely have no idea what the response to this all is gonna be like. I really just want to, like I said, do my best to move on from this, because I've already been doing that for a year. Like I said, I feel like that's pretty clear. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for today. I asked my editor if he would put this on YouTube for if you guys want to look at, you know, any of the things that I shared today. But like I said, all of the streams that I referred to today are public.
Would you give Destiny a makeover, and what would you change? I would make him go to therapy, because a happy Destiny is the prettiest and the most handsome Destiny, okay? A happy Destiny, no amount of makeup, no amount of grooming, no amount of skincare could ever make up for the amount of beauty brought forward from happiness.
Like, you can easily find them, and all the
And then I'll groom his hair.
people that I mentioned today gave me permission to mention them. Except I think I mentioned Mr. Beast Oops, but I mean, he's not involved. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never thought that I would be doing this stream, so it feels really weird to have done it, and it's over now. Yeah, well, now you guys know everything, and all the things I've been holding in for the past couple years. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully I'll be able to keep giving updates on the TwitchCon stuff, but I'm hoping to put this other chapter behind me. And like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I feel very confident that this was the right thing to do, and I don't regret any of it. Thank you guys. I'm gonna go spend time with my friends, and hopefully I will see you guys all very soon. Thank you for everything.
Okay, cool. Dang Foods is bragging, I can't with this. This is too much for me. GG's, love you, Foods. I love you too. What happened? What did Mizkif do to Emiru? Attempted rape. Apparently. That's allegations. The fuck do you... Bro is actually fumbling. The biggest fucking epic fumble of a lifetime. Holy shit. Generational fumble right here. Okay? How does that even happen? How does any of that happen? Oh boy! Here we go. You ready?
Hello? Yo. Yo. Yo.
Oh my god. Yo. Yo.
Yo.
Yo. Yo.
Yo.
Yo. What? Dude, what?
What's up?
Stop.
Hello?
Hey.
Yo.
Listen, okay? Listen. It could entirely be plausible. It could entirely be plausible that Mizkif comes out of this, okay, unscathed. But from the way that things are looking right now for him, Yeah.